For nearly half a century, from 1922 to 1970, the Three Stooges were a beacon of American comedy. They were the kings of slapstick, the masters of mayhem, and the epitome of comedy. The Three Stooges were a timeless trio that brought laughter to millions and dominated the comedy scene. To be sure, their vaudeville-style humor was unmatched. But beneath the laughter, their films often tackled deeper themes: satire, social commentary, and the struggles of class. These Stooges were more than just clowns. They were artists who leveraged comedy to reflect the world around them. While we remember them as a unified trio, the truth is that the cast of the Three Stooges evolved over the years. Multiple actors stepped into the roles, each bringing their unique talents to the screen. Sadly, the laughter eventually faded, and we have now lost all 6 actors who graced the screen as these iconic characters. Today, we will delve deep into the lives, careers, and ultimately the heartbreaking deaths of these beloved funny men. Let's get into it. Moses Harry Horwitz, Mo Howard. Moses Horwitz, or the legendary Mo Howard as he was widely known, had more than just comedic genius up his sleeve. His unforgettable trademark was none other than his self-styled hairdo. But Mo's journey to stardom wasn't an overnight sensation. He paved his way with sheer determination. As mischievous young lads, Mo and his brother would ditch school, eager to immerse themselves in the world of entertainment. They even managed to score singing gigs at local bars. But destiny had bigger plans for Mo. His extraordinary comedic abilities caught the attention of the renowned comedian Ted Healy, who saw potential in Mo's sharp wit. Healy had a unique idea to inject humor into his shows. He hired Mo as a heckler. The result? Roars of laughter echoing through the crowd. Healy then recruited Mo's brother Shemp, a master of mirth, and added another sharp-witted jester named Larry Fine to the mix. The group, initially called Ted Healy and his Stooges, gained fame for their jokes. Healy would intentionally be interrupted by the 3 men on set, and he would respond with abuse. This helped launch the group's success. Their first short film, Soup to Nuts, was produced by Fox. Due to their limited budget, they couldn't afford stunt doubles, so the trio performed the physical comedy themselves. When they became skilled at it, there were some injuries, with Mo suffering the most. He broke an ankle, cracked some ribs, and had numerous concussions over the years. Mo could be considered the first member of the group since he was the first to join Healy and stayed with the Stooges through their entire career. He remained with the Stooges for almost 50 years, but unfortunately his heavy smoking led to his death. Mo passed away from lung cancer at the age of 77 in 1977. His autobiography, which recounted stories of his time with the Stooges, was published posthumously. Additionally, he has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame as a tribute to his comedic achievements. Louis Feinberg, Larry Fine. Louis Feinberg, known as Larry Fine, was a longtime member of the Stooges alongside Mo. His career began with music after a childhood accident involving acid used by his father, who was a jeweler. Larry's father saved him from mistakenly drinking the acid, but his arm was badly burned. To rebuild his muscles, he played the violin. Through years of practice, he transitioned to the stage and met Ted Healy while playing as a vaudeville violinist. Impressed by Larry's musical and comedic talents, Healy recruited him into the Stooges team, joining Mo, Larry, and Shemp. As the group developed their routine, Larry naturally became the straight man, acting as a mediator and voice of reason between the bickering Mo and Shemp. Unlike Mo, Larry struggled financially due to poor money management. He often spent his earnings on gambling or lent money to friends. Nevertheless, he had a successful 50-year career with the Stooges. In 1970, Larry suffered a stroke that left him partially paralyzed. He spent his final years in a nursing home, still always willing to entertain fans with his Stooges performances. 5 years later, he had additional strokes that ultimately led to his death at the age of 72. While he acknowledged his stardom on screen, Larry Fine insisted that the work was not enjoyable, as the painful antics were demanding, but it certainly paid well. Samuel Horwitz, Shemp Howard. Samuel Horwitz, following his brother's lead, changed his stage name to Shemp Howard. He joined Ted Healy's comedy group with his brother. After starring in Soup to Nuts, Shemp, Larry, and Moe had a disagreement with Healy. Healy's hunger for power led him to try and prevent the trio from pursuing their own path. However, they eventually separated from Healy and formed their own group, called the Three Lost Souls. Despite this, Healy approached them a few years later to work together again. While Healy had valuable industry connections, his abrasive behavior left Shemp disillusioned, prompting him to venture out on his own. During 14 years away from the group, Shemp enjoyed a reasonably successful solo career, appearing in numerous short films and collaborating with comedians like W.C. Fields and Abbott and Costello. In 1946, Shemp reunited with the Three Stooges to temporarily replace his ailing brother Curly. However, when Curly's health did not improve, Shemp continued working with the Stooges for 9 more years. In 1955, while in the midst of telling a joke with a cigar in hand, Shemp suffered a massive heart attack and passed away at the age of 60. Jerome Lester Horwitz, Curly Howard. When Shemp left the group in 1932, a replacement was needed right away. That's when Jerome Horwitz, Moe and Shemp's younger brother, came into the picture. He adopted the stage name Curly Howard. Even though he wasn't an original member, Curly quickly made a name for himself. He became known for his high-pitched voice and iconic woo, woo, woo sound effects, adding to the group's comedy. Despite not having wild hair like his colleagues, Curly became the most popular member of the Stooges. He brought many funny quirks to the group, and for many years, he was the star of the show. Moe and Larry easily played off his comedic style. However, Curly's health started to decline in 1944. He suffered from heart conditions and weight issues. In 1946, he had a severe stroke that left him unable to continue as a Stooge. Moe took care of his brother, and when Curly made a partial recovery, he was able to make some cameo appearances in their films. In 1947, as his health deteriorated further, Curly retired. He suffered additional strokes and relied on a wheelchair. A few years later, in 1952, Curly passed away at the age of 48. Joe Besser. After Shemp's fatal heart attack, Moe and Larry wanted to carry on as a duo, but the studios insisted on having 3 Stooges. They chose Joe Besser to fill the role. Besser had a background in comedy, previously working with Abbott and Costello, and he was already contracted with Columbia Studios. However, Moe was not enthusiastic about working with Besser. To make matters worse, Besser had a clause in his contract that limited the amount of physical punishment he could receive. This didn't sit well with the Stooges' slapstick comedy style, where physical humor was central. Besser's character was seen as whiny and irritating, and his avoidance of physical gags in the films didn't go over well. While he was part of the Three Stooges from 1955 to 1959, his time with the group is often forgotten. Despite that, Besser spoke fondly of his years with the Stooges. After leaving the group, he continued his solo comedy career. In 1988, Besser passed away at the age of 80 due to heart problems. Joe Torita, Curly Joe. After Shemp's death and Joe Besser's departure, Moe and Larry considered retiring. However, their TV shorts brought them renewed fame, making them a highly sought-after act. They decided to find a new member. Joe Torita, who honed his comedy skills during World War II while performing for the troops alongside Bing Crosby and Randolph Scott, caught the attention of Moe and Larry. They invited him to join as the third Stooge. Initially, Torita filled the vacancy left by Besser and Curly. To establish his own identity and avoid confusion, he became known as Curly Joe. The new trio found success, starring in 6 feature-length films and a half-live-action, half-animated series called The New Three Stooges. In the 1960s, the Stooges' popularity was restored, and they became one of the highest-paid acts in America. However, their journey was cut short when Larry Fine passed away due to a stroke. In 1974, Torita tried to revive the Three Stooges by himself, but it didn't gain much traction. He was the last surviving member and passed away in 1993 from pneumonia. And there you have it, the tragic tales of the Three Stooges actors and their deaths. Let us remember their legacy and the laughter they brought to millions around the world. These Stooges may have left us, but their spirit lives on through the laughter they left behind. Laughter has the power to heal, to connect us, and to transcend time. It's a testament to the enduring impact these actors had on our lives. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.